Welcome back to Problem Solver Politics, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Cardinellis.
Stop.
Too loud?
No, and.
Welcome back to Problem Solver Politics, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Cardinellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everybody.
And the Dark Horse duo became the Unity 2020 ticket, and a lot of questions were asked yesterday as to how the Unity 2020 ticket could actually make it onto the ballot, being only 40 some odd days away from the election. Will this save the Republic if we can't even make it onto the ballot? Here to answer these questions, Cody. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah. So I guess kind of an addendum to the video yesterday, very much. For those of you guys who didn't see that video, basically, it's been a very I got called out for pronouncing his name wrong. I'm doing it on purpose. Bret Weinstein, I guess, not Weinstein. Stein?
Yeah, I don't know that
Either way, but an interesting ride for a few years for him. But if you go back a few months, in, I believe, end of June, beginning of July, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. On the Joe Rogan podcast, he announced his Dark Horse duo plan. You brought up Cardin with General Mick Raven and Andrew Yang.
McRaven. By the way, doesn't that sound like a villain from a freaking James Bond movie? Such an awesome name.
Yeah, or a good guy. But then on top of that, we've seen he then went on to Twitter. He got himself banned from Twitter for spreading articles of Unity stuff. I will say it was kind of weird and sus he got banned. I don't fully understand why, but yes, he got articles of Unity banned off Twitter. However, they had the ranked choice vote just a couple days ago and selected as the top two results. We covered this yesterday, but it just go through. It's just a press release from the articles of Unity website. But it's really fascinating what they're doing, so I'm covering how they're explaining it. So here we go.
Yeah.
They mentioned that during this ranked choice vote, which is pretty cool. Ranked choice voting just kind of means... I was going to say it's kind of like how they vote for MVPs in the NBA. I don't think that helps anybody understand any better than just calling it ranked choice voting.
Yeah.
But essentially, you weight your votes, and then it isn't just... They bring that up because there actually is a runner-up to this, which would be the ticket of Andrew Yang and William McRaven. So there's kind of weighted tiers. So there'd be...
Too?
Selections. The pictures. Yeah, I'm actually waiting to get more info. But really quickly, I want to get to just one more thing.
Okay.
So that's what happened. Next, though, people were asking. Now, first of all, as far as I know, none of the four people, Tulsi Gabbard, Dan Crenshaw, Andrew Yang, William McRaven, have signed off on doing this. I think there's a lot of logistical issues that would arise from this. I brought this up before. This is why academics got to stay out of politics, man, because they're ideas people. But we'll get through to more of this. So, how are they going to get on the ballot? And they mentioned that in their next post on Unity 2020. And I want to show you guys this video. Now, I'm going to play it in the background with the sound off really quickly, just because I want you to see you can read the text on the screen is the larger reason why. I want him to explain in the background why I kind of explain it. But functionally, what it appears to be the Unity 2020 plan for ballot access. Again, man, that's why you got to keep academics away from politics. Yeah. Functionally, the plan is to convince one of the existing third parties, which is ironic, there's two of them, right? Functionally 4 parties. But he explains right here, the Green Party and Libertarian Party are the only third parties with some kind of widespread ballot and polling access. Mm-hmm. So the plan of Unity 2020 more or less is going to be to convince one of these two parties to replace their existing candidates that they had a primary for and a convention to confirm, to replace them with the Unity ticket, even though I don't believe any of the actual Unity ticket people, McRaven, Yang, Tulsi, and Crenshaw, have signed off on doing this. Which I'm not sure.
Does
I'm
Unity
not
2020 have any proof that they've been contacted? Because that's the other thing I was looking for.
Andrew Yang has said he's not interested in doing this.
That's crippling. That's crippling, dog.
Hold on.
Come on, man. Andrew, what do you think? It's Save the Republic, dog. You got Weinstein on your case. Okay, keep going.
But most important is this definitely feels like something that maybe could have been put into motion for 2024. That's just way ahead of itself at the moment. I was curious, and when he explained, sorry, I want to go back. I didn't tend to. I want to play in the background him explaining it so you guys can kind of watch and
see. I fully support this idea. They need to make it happen.
I support the idea as well. It's the thing. I don't want to. It's like I'm clowning on it too much, but this notion that they're going to just draft people this close to the election, people that are like sitting Congress people. And then just basically say, hey, Libertarian Party, we're hijacking your party. It's not Libertarian Party anymore. And we're supplanting your candidates with our candidates who haven't agreed to do this yet. it just feels like really, from the perspective of these parties, the word that comes to mind would be presumptuous, perhaps, right? It'd be like, it's a bit offensive almost, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, you stupid moron. Okay, hold on. That was overline. But my point is, like, it feels like you're coming to these people and looking down on them and saying, you got no chance. So you have to replace your ticket with our ticket.
Yeah.
That's kind of a tough sell, man. It is.
Well, no, but I don't think that's what he's doing. I don't think that. I
don't think that's the
as much as Bret
characterization.
Weinstein helped build the Frankenstein monster that came and attacked him at Evergreen University, so I don't have too much, sympathy for his plight. I respect that he's a convert that has realized that the left has fallen and is just an angry mob now. But I don't think his style is to come in and hardball it like a mafioso doing a sit down with a rival mob boss. Okay, I think that his style would be more like, look, we have a chance at saving the republic here, and please hear me out and let me show you how I think this could be done. And I mean, he's always asking permission to even give his opinion. You see him on the Joe Rogan podcast. It's like etiquette on steroids.
I hear, but from the perspective of the Green and Libertarian Party, wow, what a coincidence. We're also a literal political party putting a ticket together to do the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I think it's something, yes, from an academic perspective, I will come to the table and my superior ideas will win them over.
Yeah.
But from the human being perspective, it's like, yeah, dude, guess what? We're all doing our best to do the same thing with our parties. Why do you think we formed parties that held conventions and had primaries?
Like, you don't just get to come in big-brained and, say that you got a better idea and then end up deciding that we don't get to run our candidates because academia told us so. Yeah.
Because actually, I picked other people to run on behalf of me. I mean, it just...
Look, I think academia ruined America since the 50s.
I'm not trying to impugn the motives of Mr. Weinstein.
No, not
here,
the
Weinstein.
motives, but the method.
Not even the method. It's just, dude, this isn't going to work. This is something that feels like...
I think it needs to happen.
This works probably very well in an essay. You know what I mean? You sit down and write it down. Well, yes, if you have these two, like if in the abstract, if you have these two parties and they're not getting anywhere in the polls, they're not actually gaining traction, and you have this traditional way of doing things, what if you try to break the mold by like getting other candidates to like represent both parts? Dude, all this stuff, I'm sure logically makes sense. In real life, what it looks like, and someone brings it up. So that's the end of the video. I just wanted you guys to see him in his own words explain this. I don't want to make it sound like I'm, like, literally that's what he says, is that there's two parties with access to the ballots and polls, and we'll get to something else. 'Cause I thought it was interesting.
Well, see, I think he needs to go through with this, Cody. I know you're kind of clowning on it a little bit, but I think they need to fight tooth and nail for this, if not just to see how far it can go, because this may need to be the new way of doing things. We have gotten so I voted for Donald Trump because he was political chemotherapy. When my daughter had cancer, I knew exactly, I didn't actually know how brutal chemotherapy was, but I had an inkling of an idea of how brutal it was. And no father would ever want to put their child through chemotherapy unless they were faced with a decision of, do you save the life or not save the life? And in that case, you do it in a heartbeat. So I voted for Donald Trump because I knew that our society and our political system had gotten so cancerous, it would require a chemotherapy agent to hopefully help it survive. So drastic times call for drastic measures. Is this drastic? Is it a long shot? Is it crazy? Yes to all three of the above, and that's exactly why it needs to get done. You know what I'm saying? Now, yes, there are some actual technicalities that they're having trouble fulfilling. For example, getting on ballots. You can't vote for somebody who's not on a ballot with any kind of success whatsoever as a write-in candidate. Andrew Yang found this when he botched the Ohio ballot measures during his presidential election. Okay, so yes, simple trivialities. Actually, I shouldn't say trivialities, but the minutia of actually getting on all 50 ballots and getting staff in all 50 states and so on and so forth is important, because there's no way you can win the election without it. You actually need votes counted on election day from official ballots to win the presidency. It's not just on a whim, a wish, and a prayer. So I think I am blowing as much wind into the sails of Unity 2020 as I possibly can. And I acknowledge Bret Weinstein. This is crazy. This is a long shot, but bro, we need this. If not just to prove that it can get steam and candidates who are drafted will have support, so that hopefully we can draft better men to be our presidents and to be our legislative leaders in the future.
So I want
Stunning and brave.
Well, I got bad news. There's this pesky thing called reality.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, we got to keep academics away from politics. Away. They don't exist in reality. They exist in academic fairyland. Reality looks like this. Reality looks like the Republicans in Texas filing suit with the Supreme Court to remove the Libertarian candidates from the ballot, which, by the way, Dan
What?
Crenshaw. But do you know why they're doing this?
Because they usually take votes from Republicans instead of from
do you know why
Democrats.
they're doing it, though?
Why? That's stupid.
Because, again, this pesky thing called reality, it's when the Democrats successfully get the Green Party removed from the ballots in Texas.
Oh!
Or, yes, the same thing. Green Party probably typically siphons from Democrats. So, yes, the thing called, like, politics in real life, it looks like Dan Crenshaw sides with his Texas Republicans to remove his would-be Libertarian ticket from the ballot in Texas as retaliation for the Democrats removing their third-party opponents off the ballot in Texas. That's what it looks like. So, yeah, so Tulsi
Dude,
Gabbard.
this could be its own video. That alone should be its own video.
And this is as recent as 28th, but it just
Jeez.
this is what the stuff looks like. It's not. And then, by the way, here's the other thing: is that you look at the Green Party. It functionally would probably have to be the Libertarian Party that, for example, from 2016. But in 2016, you'll notice it was the Libertarian Party that had ballot access in 50 states.
In all 50 states.
Green
yeah.
Party didn't.
Well, they had
So-
access in it was the vast majority, like 95% of them.
Functionally, yes.
Oh, yeah, they're the
my only
green
point
ones,
would be this isn't including the ones they've been sued off of, including Texas now.
Right? By the
in
way, look at the
2020.
Constitution
So-
Party, which state said no? California.
Hey, creeping up, right? But a right and only status. But the point being is, I do not see the Libertarian Party. How funny is that too? Like, of every party to come into and just like big brain ideologically the Libertarian Party's gonna just come in and tread all over him, dude.
Hey, they're academic-ish.
It's not like anti-academic. It's just like, yeah, libertarians feel like the kind of people who are going to go like, oh, no, yes, please come in and just disregard all the work we've done. Remove our primary from mattering. Like, yeah, we worked very hard for this, but we don't want it. You're right. It's just, and again, I'm not trying to just be mean to anybody. I'm not
This
trying to be
person
offensive.
that's been raising
It's just
$50,000 for 6 months, we'll give it up in a minute.
This feels like what happens when you take something off of, the pages of an academic journal and put them into reality. It looks like, dude, like it just there's too much like real relationships, and this isn't like a video game where you can just draft and move people.
Yeah.
Like Tulsi Gabbard is and like not even like
academia has tried social engineering for the past 50 years.
Andrew Yang's just gonna run as libertarian for president right now. Like that's really gonna happen. It's not. It
he's
isn't.
not gonna give up. Yeah, he's like a total shill now.
It's not that he's a shill. It's just
he is. He's a total pawn on the Nancy Pelosi chessboard now.
I don't think but even that
he's shoveling her shiz, man.
I understand you feel that way. I don't think anyone can assert it is or isn't true. I don't think it's true. But the larger thing I would just say is that
he's a talking point, man.
He
now.
doesn't seem like somebody interested in being the libertarian nominee for president. By fact, he didn't run for them. He hasn't associated himself with this at all in the like it just like why this I almost wish they changed nothing about this except for framing it as like a thought experiment, like a political, like almost like a political war game moving forward to 2024. What if we got people together from both sides of the aisle, had them vote? What would that look like, right? Trying to put it into reality, it's just weird and messy and not going to happen.
Yeah. So, do you have anything else you want to say? Anything on this?
Not just the fact that again, I hope I didn't. I mean, no offense, but this is dumb. This is where this has gotten to. I was a little bit when I saw that video yesterday when he announced it. I was like, dude, this is the plan. Like it's like one of those moments where it's like, okay, maybe they have a plan. My hopes aren't super high. It's like that's the plan. Just convince someone else to give their party up to your candidate.
That's like literally saying, look, I'll just talk to Napoleon and he won't invade Moscow. I'm just going to talk to him.
I'll say it for the last time. It's why you got to keep academics away from politics. Academics aren't bad people. It shouldn't exist. They should exist in academia. People should be studying what's going on with this Unity 2020 like thought experiment and then trying to figure out what works and what doesn't and then implement that into reality. It shouldn't just be trying to force down on reality because
I have a slightly different take. In the movie industry, writers are the academics and they'll have all kinds of good ideas, but they're not good at producing movies. You can't let a writer produce a movie or else he'll screw it up and he'll over artsy it and nobody's going to like it and it'll actually never get finished and you'll waste all of your money and then your investors will hate you and you'll never make another movie, right? But if you can milk the good idea, make sure they get paid handsomely for it and get credit for it, and then you take over the movie, it'll actually get finished and done, and then we're all winners here. So we all have to use our aptitudes. So Weinstein and the Unity 2020 crew, I love this idea. I'm totally behind it. I'm blowing as much wind into your sails as I possibly can. And I think we need to go forward with this, but you need to solicit the help of other political operatives that know how to actually put this into practice so that hopefully this idea of drafting is a viable path towards candidacy for duty-driven individuals whom our public deems worthy and wanted to be our leaders. So I love the Unity 2020 idea. And academics need to stop coming up with bad ideas and start coming up with more good ideas like this one. They've had the first half century of bad ideas. So maybe this is the first, the beginning of a half century of good ideas. And Bret Weinstein is leading the charge.
Hey, dude, if this was like a year-long, kind of like not like fake, but like a year-long experimental primary done along with the primary that they like did a study on and wrote a book on, I think, maybe it could have had impacts 2024, 2028. But it just like, dude, just like selling like, oh, we're just going to convince libertarian or Greens that we have to do it. It's like, I don't know. It feels to me a little bit too.
So you say nay, I say yay.
I say nay. I would love, though, for this idea to continue, but just the way it's being handled right now, I would say nay.
Okay. So yay, says Cardin Ellis to Unity 2020. Support these guys. This drafting idea is the best thing that this cat has come out with in a decade. This is Problem Solver Politics. See you guys in the next video.